Perfect. Perfect. Perfect.
What is going on, everybody? What up? Happy Tuesday to you all. This is another live edition of the Raw Rundown here on the Around the Point Network YouTube channel. If you are new to the channel, hit the subscribe button down below and all that fun stuff that comes with it. Hit the thumbs up, share with your friends, all that fun stuff, whatever it is that, you guys get down, however you guys share your wrestling content with your friends. But above all else, thank you all for tuning in, taking the time out of your precious Tuesday to come listen to me. Yeah, what's going on, everyone? I'm live. I'm solo. 2 weeks in a row. 2 weeks in a row. I'm doing this shit solo. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you will hear all this and you will basically all say,
Exactly, no pop.
yeah, I got that new clip. I just wanted to play it. But yeah, what's up, guys? I hope you're all having a fun time. Basically, yeah, this is your Raw review. Holy shit. Here we are, recapping Monday Night Raw from last night. Overall, I thought Raw was all right. Nothing to go crazy about. We do know now that they are going to add a women's War Games match, which we'll get into in just a sec here because, that's what they do and they needed to add one. And also factoring into there was more involvement with Damian Priest and Gunther and all as well. Everything involving Seth freaking Rollins. Will he be the fifth member of the OG Bloodline in War Games, knowing that Bronson Reed is now part of the solo Bloodline, and also factoring in he, in the main event, defeated Seth freaking Rollins. So he finally, basically, what's what I'm looking for here? He got his win back. He basically got his revenge from Crown Jewel and all that stuff. I basically just reviewed Raw. I could just end this right now if I really wanted to, but that's not really what I'm about. So let's get into this, shall we? This might be a quick one. This might be a really, really quick one. So the show opened up with Liv Morgan, and she was joined by, Raquel Rodriguez, and they basically welcomed everyone to the show, but they say that they didn't come alone. They brought out Candice LeRae, they brought out Tiffany Stratton, Nia Jax from SmackDown, and they were interrupted by Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, and Naomi. And basically, they were bragging about not coming alone, the War Games match. And, Liv Morgan went on to say, hey, there's only 4 of you. Mathematically, we have the advantage. So who's going to be your 5th person on your team? Let them step up. And what do you know? Who happens to make the appearance? Who happens to show up? Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley shows up, and she goes right for Liv Morgan, lays her out, takes her out of the ring, tosses her and stuff. And there's still history there, obviously. And everyone's just brawling. Everyone's just going at it. But yeah, they are officially making the women's War Games match for Survivor Series. Really, to be honest here, look, I know a lot of people aren't really that excited with the idea of them having a women's War Games match. I know a lot of people, they feel like, honestly, there's no need for it. There really isn't. But you got to understand the way WWE functions right now, the way they're doing things is like, yo, if the men are doing it, so can the women. And they want their they want their good social media reaction. They want people to, be okay Because you know for a fact that if there wasn't a women's War Games match, you will hear the outrage on social media. There is that group of fans who will complain online, who will, say, "Oh, it's not fair that the women don't get a War Games match, but the men do." Look, there's a lot of things I feel like we don't need. Like, we don't need a women's Rumble match every single year, but hey, we get it anyway. There's a women's Money in the Bank. Hey, we get it anyway. But that's, again, I don't want to come off like, oh, you hate women's wrestling. That's not the case at all. But for the most part, look, if you're going to do a women's War Games match, I guess, adding the fact that you have Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley, they're obviously going to be captaining both their respective teams. Crazy to think, you have Liv Morgan, who is the women's world heavyweight champion, on one in the same team with Nia Jax, who is the WWE Women's Undisputed Champion. And also factoring you have Liv Morgan all on the same team. So who to say, right? Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany Stratton. Who to say Tiffany Stratton does not cash in, right? It's possible. It's very, very possible. But nevertheless, too, let's be honest here, too. Over the last couple of War Games, right? It's always been the women's match that outshined the men. So chances are it's going to happen again here as well. It's going to happen. So time will tell on that one. We got a recap about the latest goings of the Bloodline drama, what happened on SmackDown with them showcasing that Bronson Reed is now the newest member of the Solo Bloodline. The Bloodline that has, Solo Sikoa, the Tongans, Jacob Fatu, hashtag not my bloodline. And I'll be honest, I'm happy for Bronson Reed. I really, really am. I think it's great that he's getting this opportunity. It's crazy to think a couple of years ago he got let go by WWE. They didn't really give him a chance, right? Like, there was that whole thing that he showed up to the main roster. I think he worked a main event match, and the old man just did not see anything in him at all. Didn't give him a chance to breathe and just let him go. Went to New Japan, wrestled in TNA on the independents, tore it up, right? And then when the old man went away, Triple H took over and brought back Bronson Reed with many other people as well. And for the most part, Bronson Reed has become one of these success stories, to say the least. And factoring in him taking out Seth Rollins, also having that mini feud with Braun Strowman. For the most part, it has, helped Bronson Reed here. And factoring in, he's working with Rollins, and now he'll be in the main event of Survivor Series. Wow. Doesn't get any better than that. So I'm happy for the guy. I really, really am. We saw Braun Breaker was shown getting ready for the Intercontinental Championship match backstage. We did get Zelina Vega and Rey Mysterio versus American Made of Chad Gable and Ivy Nile. This was basically a mixed tag team match. For the most part, it was fine. I was impressed by Zelina Vega, how Chad Gable took bumps for her for the most part. But when it was all said and done, of course, you had the LWO getting the W here. And it's funny because after this, right, after this whole thing, right, you had the Creed brothers come out, Brutus and Julius. And I think it was Brutus who was laughing and stuff like that. And Chad Gable just slapped him. Try to get some sense into him. Try to motivate him. Try to be like a leader to him. Try to showcase who's the boss, who's the leader, right? And I'll be honest with you, like when the whole thing started with, American Made, right? With, Chad Gable and the Creed brothers, all of us were excited. Like, oh man, this is cool, right? Many people were calling it Team Angle 2.0. But as of late, it's like, I have no idea what they're doing with them. It's like Chad Gable was giving this pep talk to motivate them, but what are they going to be fighting for? And factoring in, hey, he wrestled, like, what was it? They were working with the Wyatt Six, and after that, it's like, whatever. All right, that's done with. Now the Wyatt Six have moved on to the Final Testament. So now what? And that's basically the feel. Marine writes here, Chad Gable is no good. Hey, that's by all means. You have the right to say that. I'm not angry at you for that. You have every right to say that. So yeah, I mean, hopefully they switch things up here a little bit, but we'll see. We see the Judgment Day hanging out in their clubhouse. Liv Morgan asked Finn Balor to handle business for them tonight, and he hyped up Dominic Mysterio and Carlito, also factoring in that Dominic single-handedly defeated Damian Priest a couple of weeks ago. There's still that friction between Dominic and Finn. Something's going to have to give. So there's that also. And of course, factoring in, you do have what's it called? Dominic Mysterio and Carlito taking on the War Raiders later on in the night. So we were going to see how that was going to go. What do you have to say about Balor? It's pretty good. Factoring in there after this, we move on. We saw The Miz and Kerry Crawford featuring a vignette where they bragged about taking out the Wide Six, how Miz should win an Oscar, an Academy Award, basically. How he should win an Academy Award for his performance last night, the week before, and stuff like that. So there was that for the most part. And what's it called? The Miz is talking about wanting to make a 7th Marine movie and have Quentin Tarantino direct. So good luck with that one. I'm pretty sure it'll go right to DVD. Gunther tells Ludwig Kaiser backstage. We got Gunther and Ludwig Kaiser backstage that he needs to be his own. Gunther tells Ludwig Kaiser backstage that he needs to be his own man from now on. Before he let Kaiser go away, he asked him if he still sees the ring general, right? When he looks into his eyes, Kaiser assures him that nothing has changed. Gunther tries to go over to Damian Priest to choke him out backstage, but Priest gets the better of him. And with a quick square to the balls, Priest tells Gunther, when it comes to the street fights, he is a king. So again, we see this whole thing where Gunther, again, he's trying to get his confidence back. He's trying to reassure himself here, right? And just comes up short. Damian Priest, who is street smart for the most part, saw this coming a mile away. And obviously, Damian Priest got the upper hand. And again, this is going to hype up the match even more. The idea that, hey, Gunther lost at Crown Jewel. His confidence isn't there. I mean, we've seen this even in mixed martial arts, right? A fighter takes a loss. Can they get their confidence back, right? Will they be the same after this loss, right? And for the most part, it's kind of weird too because Gunther lost to Cody. It's not like he lost to someone on the roster like Sami Zayn, right? Back at WrestleMania. You lost to Cody. You lost to Cody Rhodes, the WWE Undisputed Champion. Your title wasn't on the line. You lost in a match that technically doesn't even count. Is in Saudi Arabia. But hey, that's the story they're going with. Do I agree with it? No. But does it make me, want to tune in, to Survivor Series? It should be a fine match, but obviously Gunther's going to go over. We already know this already. Exactly. He did not lose. He did not lose to Randy. I didn't say that. I said he lost to Cody Rhodes at Crown Jewel this couple of weeks ago. We did get Braun Breaker versus Sheamus. I thought this was a very, very good back and forth match. This was probably my match of the night for the most part. I'm not just saying that because I'm a Braun Breaker guy, okay? There was a spot where Braun Breaker off the top rope does a dive to the outside. He does a jump, right, to the outside, off the top turnbuckle, off the Sheamus. He did a dive to the outside as well. Again, these two guys are beating the holy heck out of each other. It ends in a no contest. So obviously Sheamus does not get to fulfill, his destiny, right? His goal of becoming the Intercontinental Champion, which he's been wanting to do for such a long time. right? It's not going to happen. Ludwig Kaiser showed up and he attacked Sheamus. So something has to give here, right? Braun Breaker is still the Intercontinental Champion, which I kind of expected to. I mean, you're not going to have, let's be honest here. No one's dumb. Raw last night was pre-taped. You're not going to have Braun Breaker lose on a pre-taped episode of Raw. You're not going to have him lose the title on a pre-taped episode of Raw. It's not going to happen. But again, I thought for the most part, until that whole finish happened, I thought that was the match of the night for me. All right. We did get Jimmy Uso, Jey Uso, and Sami Zayn approaching Seth Rollins backstage. And they pleaded with him to be the fifth man on their War Games match. My question is, what happened to, Jey Uso asking Rey Mysterio? What happened to Jimmy Uso asking, Braun Breaker? All right. And what happened to Sammy? I believe he asked LA Knight right on SmackDown. And who did he ask on Raw before all this went haywire, right? I forgot who it was. But point is, though, they were asking people too. Were them pleading to those people, right? Oh, yeah, I forgot. Of course, Sammy asked Seth Rollins. Silly fucking me, right? Look, we know it's going to be Seth. I just love the way they're going about it, right? Like you see, oh my goodness, you see Seth telling everyone, like, yo, you just can't trust Roman Reigns. He's good using everybody, right? And I know people are going to say that, Roman should apologize to Seth. I said this yesterday on Steve's Kitchen. Why should he apologize? Why should Roman be the one to apologize? It should be Seth Rollins apologizing to Roman Reigns for what he did in 2014 when he hit Roman Reigns in the back with a steel chair. But here we are. Again, I love where this story is going for the most part. You already know it's going to be Seth Rollins. I said this last week too. Does it need to really be, you don't seem to, again, you don't see, what's what I'm looking for here? You don't seem to see like Seth Rollins, right? Again, he's the one who caused all this shit, right? It doesn't need to be Roman Reigns apologizing for the most part. But we'll see how all this plays out. Again, honestly, this doesn't need to be 5-on-5, from my opinion. It could be easily, 4-on-4. But that's, again, they want to follow tradition. They want to follow tradition now. When a few years ago, the first War Game they had in NXT, it was 3-on-3-on-3. The fuck is this? After this, we got Dakota Kai played a vignette, and she says she's determined to show everyone why she's a champion, and that she never wanted or loved wrestling more. Basically, they played a vignette about her comeback, and she wants to be champion, all that stuff. And look, happy for Dakota Kai, happy that she's back. But for the most part,
exactly, no pop.
Yeah, pretty much. From there, we did get the War Raiders versus the Judgment Day of Carlito and Dominic Mysterio. For the most part, it was fine. Again, the War Raiders are going to get their tag team title match, so you want to give them momentum. But they did pick up the W. And when it was all said and done near the end, Finn Balor and JD came out to attack Aaron and Ivar. So, again, they got their momentum as well. Again, there's a tag team title match happening soon. So, there's that too. We did see a Y6, a vignette that interrupted the Judgment Day celebration. Bo Dallas was seen saying that he offered someone salvation, but they damned themselves. And he apologized for what must happen next. Whatever that may be, look, again, I'm happy for Bo. Again, Bo Dallas' acting skills are amazing for the most part. His acting skills are amazing for the most part. But I will say this. I will say this. For the most part, again, it's just no pop. For the most part, again, the bell has to ring. The bell has to ring at the end of the day for Bo Dallas. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see how that one ends up being. From there, we got a Lara Valkyria vignette video that played. So again, another thing to hype her up. Good for her, I guess, but we'll see where that goes as well. There was a segment where Xavier Woods interrupted a conversation between Alpha Academy and Kofi Kingston. And Woods was concerned about the fact that he and Kofi had been arguing a lot lately. And Woods talked about Karrion Kross saying months ago that the group was dead and nobody knew it. They almost started arguing again when Otis stepped in and Woods became aggressively defensive. And because of this, New Day versus Alpha Academy will be happening next week. But I want to point this out too. I want to point this out. You know, I want to point this out. Here's what I want to know. Why, oh why? Why is Otis still wearing a free Otis shirt? Why? I thought the moment Chad Gable left that they were free. Why is this still a thing? Here's another thing. Why is Tosawa still wearing this junior cadet t-shirt? Why are they still called the Alpha Academy? Why? It's stupid. It's dumb. What are we doing? The moment Chad Gable left, did you just get rid of all this crap? Just get rid of it. It just looks so fucking stupid. Again, what are we freeing Otis for? Why are we freeing him from what? From his contract? Again, Otis. Oh my goodness. Oh, Tosawa, junior, a cadet. Are you shitting me? What are we doing? What the fuck are we doing? From there, we got the main event. Bronson Reed versus Seth Rollins. The match was fine for the most part. And obviously, as you can imagine, the new bloodline of Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, Jacob Fatu came to ringside, but they were neutralized by the Usos and Sammy. It ended with Solo Sikoa distracting Rollins, leading to Reed getting the victory, hitting the tsunami for the 1-2-3. And that's, again, Bronson Reed finally getting the win. I said this earlier, and I'll say it again. I'm happy for Bronson Reed. I'm happy for the fact that, again, I said this earlier. A couple years ago, they let him go. For whatever reason, they didn't see it in him. And then he goes, tears it up in New Japan, gets a win over Okada, right? Tears it up in Impact Wrestling. Here in couple indie matches here and there, right? The old man goes away from WWE. Triple H takes over, brings him back, right? And for and at times it seemed like, all right, they're doing nothing with him, right? It's what the fuck. But now, he takes out Seth Rollins, right? After, WrestleMania, right? And we're off to the races. We're off to the fucking races. And you got to be happy for the guy. Bayley is not in a War Game match since WWE brought War Game Survivor Series in 2022. Yeah, it's crazy, right? But I think her focus, though, is the women's U.S. title, so for the most part. So, yeah. But for the most part, again, I thought Raw overall, look, again, I'm happy for Bronson Reed. He's getting the opportunity to main event a Survivor Series, being in this program. He fits in with the new bloodline like a glove. So I can't hate on it. I cannot hate on it. Overall, I thought my match of the night was Braun Breaker and Sheamus until that whole thing happened with Ludwig Kaiser. And yeah, that was Raw overall. Okay. In case you missed it, yesterday, myself, Walter, and Romeo were live for Steve's Kitchen. We talked about everything that went down with UFC 309, everything that went down with the Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fight, and Roman Reigns trying to call the wise man, but the phone did not pick up. and all that fun stuff. We'll be back this Thursday. Question, who is the fifth person for Roman Reigns' team? Some people are suggesting Seth Rollins. Hell, you can go so many ways with this too, right? You can have this thing where, hey, Roman Reigns made a call to Paul Heyman to either bring in potentially CM Punk or maybe Brock Lesnar. But I think it's going to be Seth Rollins for the most part. And also factoring in, I think we see the return of The Rock after the Survivor Series. You see The Rock once again, just like in Atlanta, right? When Roman teamed up with Cody, having that look on his face, like, what? That's ESPN going off right now. But, well, we'll see what happens. But for the most part, guys, if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the follow button. And as always, guys, you guys are awesome as always. Follow the Around the Point Network on X at AT Network. All right. Again, subscribe, hit the bell notification, hit the thumbs up, share with all your friends. We'll be back live this Thursday for Sad Something About Dynamite as we recap AEW Dynamite and also do our preview for Full Gear. All right. But that's going to be it for us. Thank you all for watching. All right. You guys are awesome as always. For myself, also, one more thing too. Next week will be Bianca Belair versus Nia Jax in a advantage match. Whoop-de-doo. That's going to be it for me, guys. Thank you all for watching. As always, for myself, for the gang, this has been the Raw Rundown here on the Around the Point Network. Peace out, y'all.